everybody, it's Kristin, and I guess I have some fails for you. A lot of you guys really wanted to see me touch on some of the fails that I had from 2016, so I do kind of keep a running list of those as well. What's interesting is there's one thing on there that I cannot read to save my soul. It says TF, some word, and then CC. And I know that the TF is two-faced, that's what that is, but the rest of it, I have no idea. I have no idea what that means. I don't know why I can't. I've sat here, I have been sitting here for about 5 minutes trying to figure it out, and I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. It's fine. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk with foundations. And a lot of these things I have recently got, decluttered or whatever, so I don't necessarily have the product to talk about. Some of them I returned right away, so that's kind of the thing you have to know with my fails videos, that I've been trying for the past couple years. If something doesn't work, I return it. So I have some products I do not, because I failed myself and didn't return them. So first off was the L'Oreal Cushion foundation. That was not good for me at all. I did not like that. I did a whole video on it. I'll try to remember to list any video that I've done on one of these. And I did that along with the Wander Stick foundation as well. That was also a fails. I think the video was 2 foundation fails or something like that. So I'll list that below that one. I didn't like how either one of those looked on my skin. They didn't last very long. They just were not winners for me. And please remember, by the way, I should have said this at the beginning, that just because these things fail for me doesn't mean that they are a fail for you. I know that I'm going to have a couple of things in here that are going to be like monumental. I'm the only one. Okay, not really, but I feel like I'm the only one that these things don't work for. And I'll just explain why they didn't work for me, and if they work for you, great. Okay, so the next one was the Laura Mercier Candlelight Foundation. Whew, that was early on in the year, I think, and I believe I have a video on that as well. That did not work for me at all. And there are some people that love it, but I think if you have dry skin, at least in my experience, it's not going to work for you. If I remember correctly, it didn't last very long at all either. And longevity is something that's really important to me. All right, the next thing was the Lush Comforter Gel Shower Lotion. I remember being so disappointed in that because I love the Comforter Bubble Bar. Everybody does. It has a great smell. But the shower gel was terrible for me. It didn't smell like the comforter at all. Whew, it was not good. And I had ordered it online, so it wasn't something I could smell in store. All right, the next thing was the Estee Lauder Re-Nutrife foundation. I tried both the one in the jar and the one in the pump. It was a very expensive foundation. Neither one of those worked for me. So, those are just kind of some foundation fails I want to make sure that you guys knew. I think I did a video on either one or both of those, so. All right, next thing, I'm going for my list here, and then I also have some products here, so they're not necessarily in any sort of an order. The next thing, sadly, was the Becca Split Pans. Those, I just didn't feel like the blushes in those split pans were the same formulation as the blush, as their, full-size blushes. I couldn't get them to blend properly on me. They were very patchy, so I ended up returning those as well. The next thing, this is going to be a little controversial, not as much as one of these, was the Lorac Pro 3. I'm going over the products that I don't have currently, by the way. The Lorac Pro 3, I didn't like that one at all, and I love the original Lorac Pro. I'm like, about the second Lorac Pro, and the 3 was just not good at all. I did a 4 looks 1 palette on that I'll list below, and then you can kind of hear more of my thoughts on that. Next, we have the TF something something CC. I don't know what that is. All right, so hold on to your hats, my friends, for this next fail. I tried this for over a week, I think maybe 10 days. I wore it throughout my fails series. That was, the week that I was testing it. I don't like it at all. This is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I know. I'm the only... Okay, no, I'm not the only one, because I've talked about it on Snapchat a little bit, and a lot of you guys, have told me you don't like it as well. I've talked to a few other YouTubers, but for the most part, people love these. By the way, for those of you that follow me on Snapchat, finally, this is the first video where you get to see my little decorations. I didn't like it being all just boring back there. I felt like I needed something. Anyway, so this it's so putsy when to try to get it to work. You have to be, at least for me. So I'm 43. I have drier under eyes. I switched from the eye cream that I was using up back to my Cam Cosmetics eye tonic, which I love. I switched back to that. That didn't seem to make a difference. This is just, I don't know. So what I ended up, in case you've never seen this before, which I doubt, has like this ginormous wand. The coverage is great on it, but what you have to do, for what I had to do in order for me to get it even wearable, was put it on, tap it in with my finger, and then go back in with a beauty blender. You can't put any powder over the top of it, for me, or it gets like Cake City. No matter how long you go in between, it just isn't for me. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of you like it. I'll probably... Well, anyway, I know a lot of you like it. I'm going to be returning that. I have another concealer that didn't work for me. This was sent to me actually by Influencer, and this is the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer. This, again, is just not for drier under eyes. Even if your under eyes are well moisturized, you put this on, it's going to suck the life right out of your under eyes. So I did not really like these. I'm going to be passing these along to a friend. One cheek product, I may have had more throughout the year, by the way, but I tried to just pull some of the ones that, anyway. This is the NARS Blush Duo in Adoration. I don't like these at all. Again, it's one of those things where I feel like I'm the only one. Looks very pretty and looks like it was, you know, you can maybe almost even tell in that swatch. These just don't blend at all. I don't know if I got a bad one, because I've heard people that I love and respect talk about how great these are, but, and I never returned it. It's long since whatever, so again, I have a friend at work that might want to try it, but that's just not, they didn't, but the highlight was okay, so I don't know, maybe I would depot the highlight. No, I don't think you can depot those. Anyway, doesn't matter. The highlight was okay, the blush was a huge fail for me. All right, a couple of things for eyes. These were the Maybelline Color Tattoo Eye Chromes. These... I don't know. I wanted to love this. I wanted them to be like Bad to the Bronze. But so there's a heavy swatch of it. It looks really pretty. But when you blend it out, oh, hi. It's almost like nothing. And that's the darker of the two. The champagne one just completely disappears. So for me, these were not a winner. I was able to build them up a little bit. What I wanted that to be like, and I'm going to pull this up because I still have one. So raise your hand if you remember back in the day when I used to not shut up about the CoverGirl Intense Shadow Blast in 815, I think it was. Yep, 815. I mean, this was just amazing. And I realize it's a little bit darker shade, but I was kind of hoping that it would be similar to this, only this would be more metallic. But, I mean, that's the color that you get from that. And even when you blend it out, you get a really nice shade. Ugh, I miss these. It's so old, I just feel like I shouldn't use it anymore, but, you know, I keep it for sentimental reasons. All right, you guys heard me for sure talk about this one before. This is the Marc Jacobs Fine Liner Ultra Skinny Eye Crayon. I love the Marc Jacobs liner in Blacker, which will make you surprised about one of my next things. But, so I bought this thinking this would be great to get in between, but for some reason, the reason this is a fail for me is this like irritated my eyes beyond belief. I don't understand it. I would assume that it's the same formula that's in the, you know, the Blacker, the highlight, what is it, Highline Gel Liner or something like that. But apparently it's not. And so I kept that all year long just to talk about it in my fails because I was so disappointed. And lastly, as far as eyes, is the Marc Jacobs. These were two of the other colors. Like, let me actually tell you what the name of these is, or the name of this line is. So the Highliner Gel Crayon. This is in Navy Noir, and then this one is in Peridot. And I am certain that I bought these when they were having the problem where they pulled all of them and then reformulated, something. But look at this. There's just nothing there. And I was so disappointed because I bought these when I had found, this is the same thing, when I found you know, how much I loved Blacker last year. And then early on in the year, I purchased these liners and was so disappointed because they were so dry. Now, I would be willing to try one again because they reformulated. They pulled everything off their, you know. I can remember when I was talking about blacker and how much I loved it. People bought it and then they were like, they came back, they're like, what are you talking about? This is not nice at all. And they had some kind of a problem. I don't know exactly what it was, but at any rate, these ones were a huge fail for me. I really hope that if I buy another one that's not, I have purchased blacker since then and it's just fine, but I've not purchased a colored one since because I'm a little bit afraid. And I did have all these little minis of this line and I had used those all up. Anyway, those particular ones were a huge fail. I have one brush fail and this makes me really sad. You guys know I love a Goss brush. And maybe I'm not using it right. I don't know, but this is the 01 and it came in his anniversary set, so it's the bigger version, but I think that this is the version that you can buy now. It's a dual fiber. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see there or not, but it is a dual fiber. But I can't get this to blend any foundation I've tried it with. So I would love to know if you guys have had success with this. What type of foundation have you had success with? Because when I blend it, it just puts lines in the foundation. It doesn't give a nice blend, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So that one's not going anywhere because I'd like to figure out a way to use it. All right, and lastly, I have two things for lips. I feel like I probably have more for lips, but these were just the ones that I had on my list. And the first one is the Revlon, just matte, Ultra HD. I knew there was an Ultra in there. I just have the one shade. The shade is in Devotion. I had to really search it. All right, you guys. I can't remember if I talked about this in the favorites or not. And I'm going to give you a color so you can see what the color looks like because you might be curious. This goes on to your lips and it sucks 20 years out of your meaning like it adds 20 years to your lips. It's terrible. That's one of the things with me with liquid lipsticks is that it needs to not make lines where there aren't lines. I mean, I have lines in my lips. I'm 43 years old, as I just mentioned, at least for another month or so. I'm 43, depending on when this goes up. And it just sucks the life out of your lips. That's all I can say. And it does last a long time, but I had to put a gloss on top of it even just to make it look semi-decent, and so I will not be purchasing any more from that line. And lastly, this is one of the ones, I feel like I'm ending on one where I'm going to get crucified. The Too Faced Melted Matte. This was the holiday one, and I don't even know what it's called. Candy Cane. All right, so I put this on my lips, and it looked good to begin with. It started out looking good. And then throughout the day, I think I even Snapchatted with it on maybe, but throughout the day, it did, I don't know how to explain this. It didn't wear away, like from the inside out, like, I don't like the name that people call that, but it didn't wear away like that. It somehow made my lips look thinner and thinner and thinner throughout the day. So it was almost like it was fading from the outside in instead of the inside out. I don't really know. I loved the smell of it. I liked how it went on, and I felt like this applicator, for some reason, it's just a standard doe foot, but it worked well for, getting a liquid lipstick on. But oh, buddy, this, I was so disappointed that day that I never put it on again. Again, like I said, it lasted, but it was like it was fading from the outside in and just making my lips look thinner and thinner and thinner. So there you go. Those are my fails for the year. I do feel like I have a couple more, and I kind of went through my videos and I couldn't find any other ones, but I think this is probably quite enough. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll tell you quickly, on my face today I have the Dior Star Foundation. I'm still using that. I put this blush on and then ended up putting a lip that really didn't go with it, but what are you going to do? This is Pink Ingenue from Estee Lauder. And let me move this here. On my eyes today, I have from the Morphe 35O palette, I just used this shade right here. I know a lot of you guys wanted me to do a 4 looks, 1 palette with this, but I don't think I can, quite frankly, without adding other shades in, because there's no matte deep brown in here. There's a black, but all of these are shimmer. Only these are matte. I don't know. Anyway, not the point of the video. So I have that shade on my lid. I did use this in the crease, and then I used this in the outer corner just to kind of deepen things up. And then I'm not sure if you can tell on my upper line, as I put this here, my upper lash line, I took the blue from the Victoria Beckham, and I have that just on my upper lash line. And then for lips, lost track. I have the ColourPop Frick and Frack, I think it is. And then I was like, oh, that doesn't really go so much with your blush. Sometimes it happens. It's just real life, folks. And then I took the Buxom White Russian over the top of that just to try to pink it up a little bit and tone it down, and this is what I ended up with. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and in everything that you do, be beautiful. Bye.